And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar. Thank you for being here for the very first 2-hour edition of New Earth TV Live. So like I said, I'm just doing these streams once a week now, every Friday. And New Earth Insights is now no longer happening. But again, with New Earth Insights pertaining to the question and answer period, that is available in this webcast. Right? So we're basically, like I said, we have 2 hours. So the first hour, we're going to be working with guided meditation. We're going to do some distance healing as well too. So if you guys have some distance healing requests, either for yourself or somebody that you know, you can feel free to put that into the chat. And we'll also be going into the second hour, which is Q&A. So again, with Q&A, you guys can ask any particular questions you want. Just make sure that they're semi-personal or general in nature, but on any topic that you wish. When we get into the second hour, so when we get at 12 o'clock today, 12 p.m. Pacific, we'll get into Q&A time. But of course, first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start off with some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing of spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards. Technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body,
Okay, sorry guys, I think we had a little bit of a glitch there. My OBS studio was cutting out there just for a moment. So hopefully technical difficulties aren't rampant. But anyways, next announcement is the private sessions. Again, I'm all booked up for the month of September. And I won't be doing private sessions until the start of January of 2023. But there are 3 question email sessions that are available. So if you do have requests for 3 question email sessions, you can order them through newearthteachings.com. And I am booking up for the rest of September for the 3 question private email sessions. And one more announcement here is that healingcodecards.com now has a promotion where all products on the website are 15% off. Okay, and of course the second edition of the Mind Deck, but just in its digital edition, is available on healingcodecards.com. So you can use the promo code when you go into the shopping cart. Okay, it's SUMMER15, all capital letters, SUMMER15. This is a 1-use limit per customer, and it expires August 7th. So if you want to grab any product off healingcodecards.com, whether it's the Body Deck, the Energy Deck, the Mind Deck, all 3 are available in printed editions. But again, a reminder that the Mind Deck in the printed edition currently is just the first edition, which means there's 36 cards in the physical Mind Deck. But if you order the digital edition of the Mind Deck, that's the second edition, and that one contains 44 cards. And I'm currently getting the second edition of the Mind Deck printed right now, so it'll probably take about 3 or 4 months, because we know how awesome the mail system is. So it takes about 3 or 4 months to get everything printed, everything prepped, and then shipped to me. So again, I'll probably be here around the time of November or December approximately. But once that comes in, then of course we'll have another great promotion. And in the meantime, I'm going to be working on the Healing Code Cards Plus app. Right, so I'm going to get started on that now that I pretty much have everything done pertaining to the printed side of things relating to the cards. So I'm going to start working on the Healing Code Cards Plus app. So that's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to probably take a while to develop, but I'll keep you guys in the loop as it continues to develop. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. Again, hello everybody. Thank you for being here. Good to see you all on the chat. It's always great to see everybody letting me know where you're from. People from all over the world tuning in. Thank you very much. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and do a meditation. And this is going to be a chakra clearing meditation. So this is going to be very, very beneficial for you. And all you have to do is just follow along if you want. So what we're going to do first and foremost is you can either sit down or lay down for this. Either way is fine, right? So if you're on a couch or a bed and you want to lay down for this meditation, you can certainly do so. Or if you just want to remain seated, that's fine as well too. So Get yourself nice and relaxed, making sure the spine is nice and straight if you're sitting. Taking a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. And one more time, deep breath in and out. And just letting yourself relax, letting yourself be comfortable. Again, if you're sitting, making sure the spine is nice and straight, the neck is nice and straight as well too. And I want you now just to do a quick scan of your body. I want you now just to bring your awareness to the top of your head, and you're slowly bringing that awareness down the body, down past the head, down past the neck, the chest, the back, the abdomen, the lower back, the waist, the hips, the legs, the knees, going all the way down to the bottom of the feet. And if there's any tension there, just feel again all of that leaving. Just feel like it's a black mist that's coming out of your body and it's immediately dispersing. Any tension, any strain, any stress within the body, just see it as a dark mist leaving your body and dispersing entirely. And what I want you to do now is I want you just to see an overlay of your own physical body. But this overlay of the body is going to relate to your astral body. So as we see our physical body, we're now just seeing an overlay. It's like we're peeling away now the physical body, and all we are seeing now is the astral transient body. That looks very much like our physical body, but we're basically able to see our astral form. As we see our astral form, we're able to look into our body, and we're able to see the overlay of our own chakra centers. And so you have the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra, which is contained right at the coccyx, right at the tailbone. Just be aware of it there. Then we have the Swadhisthana, or the second sacral chakra, and it's contained right at the top of the sacral bone, just a triangular bone. You're seeing right at the top and the back of the sacral bone, the top of the sacrum. That is the second chakra. And you're moving up, and at the navel, you see the third chakra, which is Manipura. And that's just right below the navel. And we move up into the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, or Anahata. And that is right behind the thymus gland, that butterfly-shaped gland. Right behind it, right at the thoracic vertebrae. Again, you can feel it just kind of as if you were to open your arms up, just like you're ready to give somebody a hug. And it's right in between the shoulder blades there, right behind the thymus gland. And we move up to the fifth chakra, which represents the Vishuddhi chakra. Okay, and this is just right at the pit of the throat. Okay, and you can feel that one when you're doing the guttural sound of ka, ka, ka. Right? You do that little guttural sound, K-A-A, right? Ka, and you can feel it vibrating just at the cervical vertebrae. And finally, we go up into the sixth center, which, yes, it can be at the brow, but it's also at the back of the head to where the medulla oblongata is and the brainstem. Okay, so you can feel that just by slowly, just giving a very gentle turning of the head, just like this, until you feel that little screw, that little bolt connected between the neck and the base of the skull. That is the medulla oblongata. Okay, another way you can do it is do vibrational friction or throat friction through your throat, with your mouth opened a little, and you're just breathing in. You kind of feel that little tickle or vibration at the back of the throat. That too is how you can feel the medulla oblongata. So the recommendation is to actually tune in more to the medulla oblongata for the brow chakra. But if you want, you can also tune into this. But recommendation would be the medulla. Okay, so first thing, we're going to go to the Muladhara chakra. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do some Om chanting with this chakra. So this Om chanting I'll be doing out loud, But for you, you can either do it out loud or in your mind, whichever you prefer. Okay. So I want you just to be aware of the Muladhara chakra. You're just putting that intention forward, a thought, right? Being aware of the Muladhara chakra. And if you want to chant along with me, you can. Inhale. Om. Second time, inhale. Om. Last time, inhale. Om. Okay, now we're going to move up into the second chakra, Svadhisthana. Again, 3 Om chants. Deep breath in. Om. Second time, inhale. Om. Third time, inhale. Om. Very good. Moving up now to the third chakra at the navel, which is Manipura chakra. Bringing your awareness there. Inhale. Om. And relax. Very good. Now we're going to move up into the fourth chakra, the heart, Anahata. Again, right behind the thymus gland. Bringing your awareness there now. Deep breath in. Om. Second time, inhale. Om. And third time, inhale. Om. Very good. Now moving up into the throat chakra, right at the pit of the throat, the Vishuddhi chakra. Bringing your awareness there now. Inhale. Om. Second time. Om. And third time. Om. And very good. Now we move on to the sixth and final chakra, the Anya chakra. So again, my recommendation is just to bring your awareness to the medulla oblongata at the brainstem. What you can also do is with your eyes closed, you just look up to the brow. Okay, so you can do that at the same time if you wish. Otherwise, just keep your awareness at medulla oblongata. Okay, so again, we can either just look at the brow while our awareness is at medulla. It's a little bit of an advanced technique, but if you feel you can do it, you can go ahead. Okay, so deep breath in. Om. Second time. Om. Last time. Om. All right, and relax. Okay, so let's just bring ourselves back into the body now. Let's just start to ground ourselves. And I want you just to be aware of the feeling, the sensation now of doing those Om chants into your chakra centers. How are you feeling? How is the body feeling? But most importantly, how is the soul feeling, right? There's kind of just that feeling of clarity. There's that feeling of refreshment. There's that feeling of just great joy and bliss after calibrating your chakras in this way. So this is, again, the practice known as Om Japa. It's an ancient yogic tradition. I've been doing it for thousands of years with the great masters. And again, they recommend doing this as frequently as possible. It's actually what I recommend to my students when I'm working with them to understand the chakras a lot better, is just balancing out the chakras each and every single day. So again, this gives great benefits because when you start balancing out your chakras, you're helping to rejuvenate the organs, right? Your physical organs as they are in the physical body. Well, that too is just an overlay, right? That's just a physical representation or condensing of the vibration representing physical reality. That is the organs. But when you actually look into the astral, you'll actually see that there's organs in your astral body as well too. And they're of a lighter density and a lighter frequency. And the more that you're actually working with frequency also, such as Om chanting, you can actually help to repair the organs in the astral, and that will therefore reciprocate into the physical at the same time. So maybe we'll look into that for next week, is looking into astral organ clearing. I think that would be quite interesting to work with together in the group. So again, thank you everybody for joining me for the Chakra Clearing Meditation. Just bring yourself back into your awareness right now, and just come back slowly into the present moment when you are ready to do so. Marcia says, after clearing, I feel grounded, more stable and present, and can feel the chakras spirit within me more intensely. It's wonderful. It's exactly what we're aiming for, so great work. Okay, so we're going to come back now, and we're going to go into distance healing next. Okay, so again, if you guys do have some healing requests, either for yourself or for others, I'm going to be doing the healing power today. So again, if you're not too sure what that means, you'll find out here very shortly. So let me just go up the chat here and look at some requests. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you. You from all over the world, Amsterdam, Russia, Cape Town. I was in Cape Town in 2019. It's very beautiful. I love Cape Town. Cape Town's great. Germany, Iraq, Denmark, of course, more people from Canada, from Sweden. Great. Thank you, guys. Good to see you all here. It's wonderful. Welcome to the brand new Newer TV Live webcast, 2-hour edition. Right? It's going to be great. Okay, so we do have a healing request here from El Gato Malo. El Gato Malo. I think I need to get the glasses on, guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing this. So give me a moment as I grab my glasses here. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so a request here from El Gato Malo. Dear Brad, would you please send some healing to my sister Linda's left shoulder? It has been sore for months. Absolutely. Not a problem. So El Gato, if you want to work in the background as well too, if you want to send some love to your sister Linda's shoulder as well too, while I do the healing work, you certainly can. That's not a problem. Anybody else who wants to send healing energy to Linda's left shoulder can certainly do so as well too. So again, as this is a request for your sister, El Gato, then basically I'm just going to be calling in her higher self, and we'll be working with her in that way. Okay. So I'm just going to be calling her now. Okay, she is present with me. And I'm just going to be taking a moment now just to connect with her heart. Yeah, she's quite a workaholic. She's quite a hard worker. So it's no surprise that she may have kind of been a little bit rough with her left shoulder. So a lot of added tension and strain within that left shoulder as well too. So we're going to work to clear that out today, so it's not a problem. So Galto, again, if you want to send healing energy in the background, you can. So now just connecting with Linda, with her higher self, and just seeing her higher self now, putting the prayer posture here. And we're just going to feel that little light inside the heart. We're going to move that in between the palms, and we're just going to spread that out as we inhale, making it brighter, as we exhale, making it bigger. Brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, until it completely encompasses the entire cosmos. All right. And I'll be saying to Linda's higher self now the following affirmation. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, let's begin. Release. Okay, sending her some loving prana now. Linda, taking all of that loving prana that's now into your body, converting it to kinetic energy. The prana will now go in through the physical body, working and healing that entire left shoulder for you. So, infinite love and blessings to Linda. You are blessed, you are loved, you are deeply appreciated, you are pure, you are perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Aogato Malo. Thank you very much for your request. So again, just continue to work with Linda. If she's with you, or if maybe you're talking to her over the phone, just let her know that a healing has been sent to her. It's just a good courtesy to do. And keep in touch with me. Let me know how her shoulder is doing, maybe over the next couple of days. Okay, so you can always email me, info@newearthteachings.org, or just go to my website, newearthteachings.com, and you can go to the contact page. You can drop me a message there. Okay, thank you, Aogato Malo. Blessings to you and Linda. Okay, so this was a donation I got here from Co-Create Happy. Welcome. Co-Create Happy says, Brad, can you please send my 90-year-old mom some healing so she can get back to walking? Thank you for all you do. Okay, great. Yes, Co-Create Happy, we'll do that. I didn't get your mother's name, but that's okay. We'll just refer to her as Happy's mom. I'll just call her Happy's mom. I think that'll work good. Okay, so yes, we'll work together with Happy's mom, and again, Happy, if you want to work in the background with her, you can. Anybody else that wants to work with her in the background, like Happy was saying, that she wants to get back to walking, so absolutely, we will work with her on that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Happy's mother's higher self, being present here with me. Okay, I'm just going to be connecting to her heart now. Yeah, it feels like there's been quite a bit of stagnancy within her body. So we'll do what we can to really clear a lot of that stagnancy out through the healing power here. Okay. So what I would also encourage you to do, Happy, is just encourage them. If you're with your mom quite a bit, I'm not too sure if you are or not, but if you can, just try to encourage her to do a little bit more movements, very gentle movements if possible. Maybe just getting to help her stand up and maybe just taking one step at a time. Making sure, again, that she's just getting her body moving. There's just a lot of stagnancy buildup in her body, specifically around her joints. There's also a lot of stagnancy around her organs. So there's just a lot of stagnant prana that's there, okay? So we're going to work to clear away a lot of that today as much as possible. Okay, so again, connecting with Happy Mom's higher self. Okay, hands in prayer posture. Seeing that light in between the hands from the heart. And as we inhale, making it brighter and brighter. As we exhale, making it bigger and bigger. Brighter and bigger. Brighter and bigger. Brighter and bigger. Until that light encompasses the entirety of the cosmos. And saying to the higher self of Happy's mother, I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we'll begin. Okay, releasing a lot of that stagnant prana. So I'm now going to be bringing in living prana for your mother, now happy. Living prana now becoming kinetic energy. Apply. Okay. Okay. Love and blessing to Happy's mother. Thank you very much. So Happy, with your mother, I was just clearing away a lot of her debris, a lot of her stagnant energies from within herself, putting a lot of living prana into herself, converting that to kinetic energy so that would again work with the physical body. I also put a pranic shell around her as well too. So it's kind of just like a shell or a cocoon, and I'm just putting it around her body. And Spirit is working with that shell to continue to supply this healing prana that's helping to clear away a great deal of stagnancy within her body. Okay, so that will continue to work with her for as long as it needs to. Okay, so that pranic shell will stay with her. It's just in the astral. She won't see it physically, of course. But again, that's going to help her with clearing away a lot of the stagnant prana within her body, because her stagnant prana is quite alarming, right? It's very, very large. So again, happy if you're able to work with her personally or just remind her, right, just to do some simple movements today. Just try and get the body moving as best as she can. That would certainly be a recommendation. Okay. Thank you, and much love to you both. Blessings. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Chantel. Chantel says, "Hello, Brad. Good evening. A request from Belgium. If it is possible, I would like healing for my joints and back. Thank you very much." Yes, of course. This is healing time, right? So Chantel, as I'm working with you personally, hope you're still with me here. As I'm working with you personally, just follow along with me as I guide you through the healing power process, okay? So, Chantel, just get yourself nice and relaxed, making sure your spine is nice and erect, nice and straight. Neck is nice and straight as well, too. With your eyes closed, I want you just to place your hands in prayer posture. And I want you to bring your awareness to the heart. Okay? I want you just to feel like your heart is opening up like a flower, and you're feeling this light coming out of the heart. And that heart is moving in between your palms. Okay? So as you inhale, Chantel, just making that light brighter and brighter, like that light is just protruding through your hands. And as you exhale, making that light bigger and bigger. Okay, and then just repeat. Inhale, making it brighter and brighter. Exhale, bigger and bigger. Inhale, brighter and brighter. Exhale, bigger and bigger. Inhale, brighter. Exhale, bigger and bigger. And just continue to do that until you can imagine that that heart light is as vast as the cosmos itself. Okay, and this light represents your trust, your love, and your faith. Okay. And what I want you to do, Chantel, is just repeat after me 2 times. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. And one more time. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, very good. So just let yourself relax, and we'll now begin the process. Okay, placing living prana now into your spine. Okay, now condensing that living prana into kinetic energy. Okay. So Chantal, you may start to feel rushes going up and down the spine. Okay, that's the living prana. That's transmuting now into kinetic energy. So that's going to go and do some flushing out of the entire skeletal system, of your joints, of everything. Okay? So we basically just work up and down the spine, putting all of that living prana in there. And again, Spirit's working together with that to just flush out any problems within the spine, within the joints, and so forth. Okay? So, thank you very much, Chantal. What I want you to do right now is just taking your hands, right, as they're spread out, and we're just slowly bringing them in, preparing to come back into prayer posture. But as we're doing that, you're just going to say, again, other affirmation. God is making me better and better. 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 Okay? Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. You are loved, you are blessed, you are pure, you are perfect. Blessings, dear child of God. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Chantal. Infinite blessings to you. Okay, so this next one here is from Catherine. Catherine says, hi, from Cuesta, NM, asking for healing for kidneys and lower back, constant muscle spasms. All right. Yes, we will certainly look into that. So, Catherine, again, if you're still with me, watching this live, and just get yourself nice and comfortable, making sure the spine is nice and straight. Okay, and just placing your hands in prayer posture. Bringing your awareness now to your heart, feeling it open up like a flower. Feel that light from the heart coming directly in between your palms. And again, inhale, making it brighter. Exhale, making it bigger. Inhale, making that light brighter. Exhale, making that light bigger. Inhale, brighter. Exhale, bigger. Inhale, brighter. Exhale, bigger. And just continue to do that until you feel like that light now encompasses the vast cosmos itself. Okay, this light again represents your love, your trust, and your faith. Okay, and you can just put your hands at rest if you want to, just on your lap. And you can repeat the following affirmation after me. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Once again, I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, very good. So, what I want you to do right now is then just keep your spine nice and straight. I'm going to be connecting with your heart now. Okay, so there's still quite a lot of emotional buildup, specifically around the kidney area. A lot around the area of the lower back as well, too. There may also be some of that debris around the bladder as well, too. Okay, there may also be some of it around the intestinal areas. Okay, so there's a lot of lower debris. So basically what this means, Catherine, is just doing a lot of inner forgiveness work, right? I think there's just a lot of old grudges, old animosity that's there, and it needs to be released. So please make sure you're doing the prana transmission technique, or BCR, okay? Just helping to get a lot of that old debris out. It's a lot of stuff from your past, and it's ready to be healed now, okay? So I will certainly do some healing work for you today, but I'd also like you to work together with prana transmission technique, or BCR, okay? You'll find those in my playlists on the YouTube channel here. All right, so let's go ahead now and begin. Okay, now sending you living prana both to the spine and to the kidneys. Okay, very good. So Catherine, right now, just taking your hands now from them being wide apart and just slowly bringing them back towards prayer posture. And as you're doing that, just saying the affirmation, God is making me better and better. 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 Okay. All right. So a lot of it is just some old toxic debris. A lot of it just represents your past. Okay. So we just want to clear that out as much as possible. So once again, prana transmission technique, version 2, that's what I'd recommend, okay? And BCR, and or BCR technique, okay? Just clearing a lot of that debris out. It's time for that stuff to go. It's been with you long enough, okay? Time for that stuff to go. Thank you, Catherine. You are blessed. You are pure. You are perfect. Infinite blessings to you. Thank you. Okay, so we're probably going to take about 2 more requests, guys, and we're going to do a group healing. And we're going to go ahead and move into Q&A. Okay, so let's see if we have 2 more requests. Then we'll do a group healing. So this one here is from Sakura. Sakura says, "Hi Brad, a healing request for my husband, Rich's intestine with pain." Okay, so you didn't specify which intestine, so I think we'll work just together with both of them. All right, so yes, we'll work with Rich's abdominal area. And Sakura, if you want to help out in the background, you certainly can. You can send him some healing love as well. Same with everybody else. All right. So I'm going to be calling in Rich's higher self. Okay, Rich is now present with me. And just placing our hands in prayer posture. Expanding the light. Okay, light is as vast as the cosmos. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we will begin. Sending him living prana into his intestines. Okay, very good. And so, Sakura, with your husband, there's basically just a lot of low, small intestinal digestive fire within him. A lot of this has basically been clogged physically and emotionally within himself as well, too. So a lot of old debris. So making sure that he's having a really good diet, making sure he's eating well, right? Some of it is physical toxins within the body. Some of it is, again, kind of intruders, pathogens, just a lot of old nasty bacteria as well too. I would also recommend that he does a colon cleanse. Okay, so it'd be good for him to do a colon cleanse, whether it's through an enema or through colon cleansing supplements. in that way, just really cleaning out. We just really got to clean out a lot of that debris in there, okay? But living prana is now within there. A lot of that old pranic debris is being cleared out. So again, colon cleansing, making sure he's eating well, really bringing back his digestive fire, okay? So maybe looking into Ayurveda and making sure that his digestion is very, very strong, and making sure that it can do all the work to cleaning out that area below. It was quite intoxicated with some nasty stuff. All right. So, love and blessings to you and to Rich. You are blessed. You are pure. You are perfect. Infinite blessings. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do one more personal healing request, and we're going to go into a group healing. All right. Okay, this one here is from Moya. Moya says, "Hello, Brad. Grateful healing. Please for my friend Laura." Okay, grateful healing. Okay, well, I guess what I'll do is just send her some loving energy. Okay, if grateful healing is your request, then that's what I'll do. Okay, so again, I will now connect with your friend Laura's higher self. Just to be present with me now. Okay, she is present. Okay, now expanding that light out, brighter and brighter, bigger and bigger. Letting that heart light expand through the vast cosmos. Very good. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. All right, let's begin. Okay, sending all that love energy into her aura. Okay, all that love energy again will do what it absolutely needs to do to clear away any stagnant energies that she's feeling, any hostile or volatile energies, any thoughts of that nature that she's feeling. Love energy will help out with that. Okay, so love and infinite blessings to Laura. Namaskar. Thank you. Okay. Chantel, thank you for your contribution. I received that. All right, guys, now we're going to do a group healing for everybody. Okay, then after that, we're going to go ahead and move into some Q&A. So we might have a little bit of extra time for Q&A today. So for the group healing right now, what I want you to do is just, again, if you want to be seated or laying down, it's up to you. But I want you just to place your hands upon the center of your chest. Okay, and I want you just to feel within yourself of something that you're ready to give up, something that you're ready to relinquish, whether it's a physical condition, an emotional or a mental condition, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just as long as you're ready to give it up, ready to release this, okay? Now, again, if you have a request for somebody else and you want to contribute your healing request to them, just think of them, okay? Just think of them and saying everything that I'm receiving will go to this person, okay? So you can do that, and that's completely fine. So again, just take a moment now just to go into yourself, go into your heart. Feel anything, whatever it may be, physical, emotional, mental, just something that you're ready to give up, something that you're ready to release. Okay? And I want you just to take it out and just imagine like you're just holding it in your hands, just like you could see it like a ball, right, in your hands. And I want you just to hold out that ball, okay? And again, if you're doing this for another person, that ball that you're holding is for them, okay? And I'll just take a moment now. And you can repeat after me. I strongly believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. All right, we will now begin. Release. Okay, I just want each of you now just to look into your hands. If that ball is gone, you can just rest your hands down upon your lap. Okay. If that ball has shrunk, then I want you just to bring your hands together, and you're just saying to that ball, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, and just continuing to bring your hands together till you reach prayer posture, and you're feeling that ball shrinking all together. Okay, so just take a moment now. For those of you who may feel like there's still a bit of a ball in the hands, just shrinking it down, saying the words, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Okay, second thing we're going to do now is, now that your hands are in prayer posture, we're going to expand it, and we're just going to see a ball in our hands. So we're seeing this clear, transparent ball. And I want you to take the greatest loving feeling, anything that represents what you would feel a glorious moment, a happy memory, a happy moment, something that just brings you pure joy and bliss as soon as you think about it or feel it. And I want you to put that inside this clear ball now. And just hold it there. And through spirit, I'm just charging each of the balls up now. Now I want you to feel that charging ball glow, glowing with white light surrounding it. And now just taking that ball and putting it right into your chest. Let it absorb right into your body. Feel it entering every single cell of the body. Feeling that charge, that powerful energy from spirit, charging your intention, putting it into the body. Your body feeling completely rejuvenated, completely refreshed, completely in bliss. Just keep it inside the body. Apply. That bubble has now popped, and all of that joy, all of that bliss, all of that happiness is raining down inside your body. Let's take some deep breaths in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Cleansing deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. Very good, everybody. Okay. So thank you for joining me for the group healing. We're now going to go ahead and move into Q&A time. Okay. So if you guys do have any questions, semi-personal or general in nature, you can put it in the chat. Again, no personal questions, guys. That's where private sessions come in. Or again, if it's an urge, you guys, if there's ever an urgent thing where it's like, Brad, it's a life or death emergency, and I could really use your help, then you can always drop me an email. I'm always happy to help you if it's something urgent. Okay. Getting around to it when I can, because I do have quite a lot of requests to clear away each day. But again, if that's something that's happening and you do want some help, then you can always drop me an email. Okay. All right. So let me just go ahead and change windows here. There we go. And now we're going to go into Q&A. All right. So again, guys, any questions that you like I said, it can be on any topic, just like how we did with the previous New Earth Insights and the older versions of New Earth TV Live, right? So this is Q&A time. So feel free to place your questions in the chat on any topic that you wish, and I'll be happy to get around to it. So let me just scroll up to the top of the chat here. And I had a question here from Carol Ann Smith at the beginning of the broadcast. So Carol Ann asked, "Hi Brad, I have a question. I keep hearing quite a bit about that there are sunspots decreasing across the whole entire world, causing it to be much colder for the winter months." Well, no. The Earth doesn't have sunspots, okay? I guess you're trying to refer the sun, right? That the sun has sunspots, and yes, it does. But that would not affect the idea of the hot and cold. If that was really the case, then we'd probably be like a frozen ball floating here in the middle of space right now, okay? That's not how it works, okay? Basically, when we're having a lot of these supercharged summers, we're having a lot of these supercharged cold winters as well too, a lot of that is artificially created. A lot of that is geoengineered, okay? So it's a lot of geoengineering technology that both the counter forces and the cabal both have possession of. Right? Cabal is basically having less of a possession now, but they still have some access to that stuff. So again, just like we're noticing here on the planet right now, specifically in my neck of the woods, where we've had a really hot, supercharged summer, right? Particularly around the northern hemisphere. That again is deliberate. That's geoengineering. Okay, that's weather modification technology. Okay, if we basically turned off all of those technologies that was manipulating weather, that was engineering weather, and everything of that nature, we'd have a lot of naturally clement weather here on the planet, right? We may have a little bit of cold days, we may have a little bit of hot days, but it would be nothing like that. A lot of this is basically weather warfare technology, right? So again, you have cabal members trying to heat up the planet, and when the winter time comes, you're trying to get them to put on blizzards and all other particular types of weather phenomena. And you have the counter forces that are trying to counteract that at the same time. So a lot of it is just, it's weather warfare, right? It's a very stupid thing, but nonetheless, that's what's happening, right? So again, if all of that technology basically turned off, it would take a little bit of time for Earth to reorient herself, but we would have, again, more natural, sunny, and natural cool days. Kind of like if we were to go back to like the 1960s or 1970s, when you're looking at weather like that, that would be the norm for the Earth if we turned off all this stupid weather engineering technology. But unfortunately, it's running rampant, and like I said, there's still shenanigans being played pertaining to the cabal, wanting to try and control everything, wanting to try and create artificial disasters, right? Like I said, there is a small presence, but they're still there, and they're still trying to do a lot of these things, okay? So again, it has nothing really to do with sunspots. It has nothing to do in that sense relating to whether the sun has sunspots or whether the sun does not have sunspots, right? That really does not play a part in regards to our severe conditions of weather here, pertaining to extreme cold or extreme heat. A lot of it has to do with technology. At times, we can have some surges of energy, and the Mother Earth may start to bring something of a heat climate or a cold climate at particular times, but it's very, very rare. She wants to maintain balance. Everything that represents Mother Earth is to retain balance, right? And to make sure that that balance is maintained. But it's humanity. It's dumb humanity that's doing all this stuff and playing around with weather modification technology as well too. So I think what we'll do is we'll look through the cards and we'll take a look at weather modification technology, right? Basically seeing in that sense what's going on with it, right? Who is basically using weather modification technology. We could even look at the white hot summer, basically, as I've said, a lot of these the hot climate here, and just kind of take a look at what is happening with the weather modification technology. What is ahead, who is using it, and where is it going? Spirit just keeps giving me good news, right? So basically it says this is all part of the plan. It needs to basically escalate in this way. It's more so, like I said, this is how they do disclosure, right? This is everything pertaining to weather modification technology, a lot of the shenanigans that are going here on the planet. This is basically disclosure without it saying it's actually disclosure, right? So it's letting you know about these hot conditions. It's letting you know that these climates are increasing and that they're very unnatural. It's trying to pique interest with people and saying, come on, this is not natural weather. This is not natural weather that we're having whatsoever. Is there weather modification technology going on? Yes. And then they can start investigating and looking into these things. It's more that the collective knows about these things, the more that we can put this out on the table and get an idea about what this technology is all about, right? There's soft disclosures that come about with articles, with reviews of technology in that sense, and say, oh, yeah, we naturally have the technology to make it rain, right? So basically we use electrolysis in the clouds, and through electrolysis we can now make it rain. So they're giving these little hints of soft disclosure of how weather modification works. So again, right now, but it's good news, right? Everything that's happening here doesn't seem like it's good news, but in regards to weather modification, I was actually expecting for the tarot to give me like a bad card, but there's no bad card here. So this is all part of the plan. This is everything that needs to happen. It's going to lead into a great disclosure, right? There's the summer heat, but I said it's a good thing. It's a good thing that this is happening because this is, again, helping to open more minds, open more doors to the truth, okay? So the near future, yeah, it looks like we may start to see more information pertaining to the explanation behind a lot of these intense temperatures. And again, there may be more soft disclosure coming out pertaining to weather modification technology altogether. But to me, it looks like the counterforces, in majority sense, has access to a lot of the weather mod technology. Okay, doesn't look like the dark hats have it that much anymore. Right? Feels like they're again losing everything. They're having so many of their toys being taken away from them right now. Right. The second question I'm basically just going to ask is I'm going to just ask the question because this just popped up. What is the current state of the mainstream media? Right? What's happening with the mainstream media right now? What is their alignment? Who's basically running the show when it comes to mainstream media broadcasts, right? Or mainstream media network? Are we looking at counterforces, or are we still looking at dark force control here? So let's take a look at that. That's one that just popped into my head. Okay, so what I'm getting here is a situation with that is that mainstream media is going to start turning around. Okay, but basically here's the behind the scenes, right? It still looks like there's still some hands in the pockets relating to the dark cabal, right? They still basically have the infrastructure there, but also the counterforces are trying to come in and basically trying to unify the idea of MSM so that it is going to be much more of a counterforce technology, okay? And this is kind of the, is it the up or down card, the elevating card? I want to say hope and fear, but this is in that sense something that's looking upwards, right? So it looks like the cabal is still trying to hold on to the infrastructure behind the scenes relating to the mainstream media. So behind the scenes, they are still kind of running things a little bit, but there definitely is a changing of power that's taking place right now, okay? So it'd be fair to say that there are certain media networks that the counterforces do have possession of, but still the entire infrastructure is still dark cabal run, okay? So looks like in the next couple of months we may start to see again more takedowns taking place, maybe a changing of ownership, right? Just like how we have Apple actually feels a lot more of a counterforce platform now as well too, not to mention the attempt to try and get Twitter into their possession at the same time. Doesn't matter who the figurehead is, right? It's basically trying to get some of these particular platforms in the hands of the counterforces, okay? But in the main overall infrastructure of MSM, it is still under dark cabal control, okay? But it doesn't look like it's going to be like that for much longer. Like I said, 2022 has all been about actions, takedowns, trials, freedom convoys, rallies, right, justice, and some healing support, of course. But it's mostly the year of action. This is what this is all about. It's been a very, very intense year. And like I said, it's actually been a very positive year. altogether, because we are seeing more and more of the takedowns taking place against the dark forces. So that's good to see. Okay. DV, thanks for your contribution. Appreciate it. All right, let me just scroll down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Fiona. Fiona says, "Hi Brad, could you please give an update on the, I guess I refer to them as the regressive beings. The regressive beings leaving this planet, please. Have the regressives already left? Okay. Are they already gone? Are they already history? If we're looking at a lot of the controllers that are behind a lot of the human proxies pertaining to the Dark Cabal, have they fully left the planet? And are they leaving the star system, right? What's happening with them? Are all regressive races, non-human, leaving this planet right now? Have they already left? Let's take a look. Okay, so basically, yes, these are the ones we're talking about. The ones that were basically peddling the entire regime here. Basically, like I said, it's not even a human idea, guys. A lot of the stuff that's been happening here pertaining to tyranny has really been off-world based, right? And they just basically have had humans that are being the ones that are calling the shots, because these overlords, in that sense, aren't allowed to come down here themselves and run the show, right? So they have primarily been the ones responsible for this whole mess, right? Like I said, it's all been part of humanity, of planet Earth being a slave planet for quite some time, because it has been run under this duress of these regressives. But as I've also talked about, a lot of them have been chased out of the star system, right? A lot of them are basically setting up camp elsewhere, so it may be outside the star system or so forth. Okay, but yeah, it's telling me that they're not really a factor anymore. Okay, that's really what the best thing that the cards can say. They're not really a factor anymore. They're basically at rest. Basically, you could say that their influence upon this planet is at rest. It's stagnant, right? So that's the best way they can put it. There still may be some installations here in the star system to where they are still trying to hold out. So as I talked about, there are galactic armadas throughout the entire star system that are trying to pull a lot of these guys out of the star system, but they have a lot of hidden bases. They have a lot of technology as well too, so it's taking some time. But as far as their influence upon the planet, no, it's basically non-existent. So that's a good news, right? So basically we're seeing much more of a nurturing time. We're seeing much more of a positive, beneficial time. Humanity is now going to start getting nurtured. I mean, this has just begun, right? Like I said, a lot of this started around 2019, 2020. So we're only just a couple of years into it. And so again, it's just, we still need some more time, right? There has been a calamity of programming upon this planet, and it's not something that's so little. If it was just light programming, guys, we'd be out of this mess altogether. It's not light programming. It is deep programming. It is something that has covered every single particular base of life that we can imagine, right? It comes down to our food. It comes down to our education. It comes down to our technology. Comes down to our law enforcement, comes down to our education, comes down to politics, comes down to the astral realm, right? It just extends outwards, and it's like all these veins just touching every single portion of humanity. And why do they need to go to such extremes? Because they're scared to death when humanity wakes up. That is the last thing that they would ever want, is to see humanity empowering themselves, taking responsibility for themselves, showing peace and love and kindness and happiness and compassion to every single person on the planet. As soon as that happens, guys, game over, right? They cannot stand that. That energy is so powerful. That array of consciousness is so grandiose that they could never suppress it again. And this is basically what's happened, is there's Pandora's box, okay? But behind the scenes right now, like I said, there's kind of a lid kept on a lot of the stuff, right? So they're not going to tell us too much about those regressive races, of course. But a lot of it has been kind of kept in the dark. It's kind of kept in the background. But the other good news is this is telling me that any attempts that they have tried to do will fail, right? They're not in charge of the planet anymore. So anything that they try to do here on the planet regarding any particular type of disasters or so forth will not come to pass. Humanity basically has this gigantic surge of light, and we're moving upwards through that surge of light. Fortunately, though, when we move up through that surge of light, we have to look at a lot of nasty facts that have been hidden under ourselves for a very long time, and it needs to be regurgitated and shown to the entire planet. This has basically been destined altogether, that humanity needs to go through a very, very ugly time where it needs to see the harsh, despicable truths of a lot of the people that we have appointed as leaders on this planet. And it's a very nasty time, but it needs to be shared. We cannot progress up into a golden age if we still have a lot of this festering debris kept underneath our feet. It needs to come to the surface. We need to see a lot of the horrors that have happened upon this planet. We need to see the greed. We have to see, again, the ugly faces. We have to see the wolves in sheep's clothing that have been behind this entire ordeal and have been responsible for a lot of this chaos and maintaining of a slave program on the planet. All of this has to be revealed. It's not pretty in any way. It's going to be, as Jesus would say, a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth. And that is certainly what has happened here. The near future, though, in that sense, it looks like they'll be booted out of the star system altogether, right? So no, the idea of regressives still being here on the planet, no longer happening, okay? If there are any that are still on the planet, then they basically may have changed gears, right? Some of them may have actually come over to Alliance side, and sometimes that does happen. But as far as the big players go, no. They are no longer allowed on the planet, and they're already being worked to be booted out of the star system altogether. And that's what's happening behind the scenes. But they don't want to talk too much about that because that's their business, not ours. So again, this is why sometimes the cards will say, can't really talk about that because it's not really our business to look into. All right. So thank you for your question, Fiona. All right, let's go down here. Oh, we got a contribution. Drusilla, thank you for your contribution. Appreciate that. Okay. So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just going down the list here. Okay, so this is a question here from Todd, and Todd says about a certain person confirming a solar flash. Guys, I know a lot of people have talked about solar flashes in the time. I've already talked about this in previous episodes, right? You can even go back to New Earth Insights, where I've talked about that. Again, guys, have you watched my video, The True Nature of the Sun? Okay, because if you watch that video that's on my YouTube channel, The True Nature of the Sun, you'll be completely brought up to speed of what the sun actually is. Okay. The sun does not have solar flashes, right? There are solar plumes. But as I said, that is not a bad thing. When you're looking into the idea of the nature of the sun, you have to remember, it's as I said before as well too, the Earth has been here for billions of years. And for billions of years, it has supported all different types of life. And never once throughout the billions of years of its history has the sun ever caused some type of calamity that would cause great harm upon the earth. The sun doesn't work that way, guys. You still don't know what the sun really is. Okay? The sun does not have its own heat, and it does not have its own light. Okay? Our atmosphere is basically etheric in nature, and there's a relationship between the radiation that comes from the sun and how our atmosphere converts that radiation into heat and light. Right? So again, the heat represents a ray. Of course, there's light rays at the same time. And there's different components pertaining to that. It's a science that we haven't even really explored yet. This is why sometimes it's challenging for me to give you guys a direct explanation of it. But again, the heat and the light comes from our atmosphere, right? The sun is the provider of that. But again, its radiation is converted into that, similar to the effect of sonoluminescence, okay? So even when the sun shoots a gigantic plume in that sense, it's going to be very, very beneficial because that's like the nurturing light, the nurturing radiation for our planet. It goes into the northern and southern poles. And basically the idea of an aurora borealis starts to intensify. And it's sounding like the aurora borealis starts to spread itself out a lot more. It goes into greater distances. And that is actually helping to purge the Earth of a lot of the debris. So it's kind of like the sun is giving a lot of this nurturing light to the Earth so that she can become well. Okay? This is a benefit for the Earth, and it's a benefit for all life on the planet. But it is not a solar flare where you're just seeing this gigantic flame coming out of the sun and engulfing and scorching the planet. It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. It's never worked that way in the history for as long as planet Earth has been alive. Okay? So again, guys, you have to be careful with who you are putting your trust into pertaining to this information, right? Even if you guys even do divinations like that. If you want me to, I'll take a look at a solar flare right now, okay? And we'll even look into the cards. And what do the cards have to say in regards to a solar flare? A solar flare that could cause harm to the entire Earth, right? Let's take a look at that. Is that correct? That a solar flare from the sun could actually harm the Earth, okay? Harm the Earth, hurt the Earth, scorch the Earth, and even scorch a lot of the life upon the planet. Let's take a look at that. Is that going to happen? Not even close, okay? So a lot of this stuff, again, is more so hearsay, right? A lot of it is people who believe the sun represents that. It's true that the sun has solar plumes. There are plumes that come to the planet. And like I said, this is where the cards are saying, so you guys have to listen to your inner voice. You have to listen to your inner wisdom, because this is not correct at all, okay? You got to move away from harmful information, right? Harmful information, clear the way. What's happening between the sun and the Earth right now is very, very good, okay? It's a very positive thing. It's not something that represents some type of disaster. It's not something that's going to represent the extinction of half of mankind, or wherever you are on the planet during that time that there must be a solar flare coming out. Guys, that's a bunch of bunk. And I know a lot of these people come out and they claim to be experts. You got to be careful, right? I'm not going to go into putting personal animosity towards any of them, okay? But this is where, like I said, just because a person comes out and starts sharing this stuff, the reason why I do all this stuff, guys, is so you can really confirm it within yourselves, right? I'm not saying that I'm a Mr. Know-it-all pertaining to all this stuff as well, too. But I look into these claims of what people are saying, and I'm saying, I'm sorry to tell you, man, but that's not true at all, right? And again, it's not just this particular person that's been mentioned. There's been a lot of people throughout the past who are telling me, oh, Brad, yeah, there's a solar flare. There's a solar flare that's going to come, and it's like a kill shot, and it's going to belch off half the life on the planet, depending on where you are on the planet at that time. I said, guys, that's nothing but a bunch of BS. It's nothing but a bunch of crap, right? And I've said it to people. I said, guys, that's a bunch of crap. I'm like, oh, okay, well. Because that's not how the sun works, right? The sun and the earth have a harmonious relationship, okay? It's not like a evil father that's going to take out a flamethrower and start incinerating his daughter, the earth. Just, right? It's just a bunch of stupidness. It's no more different than looking at archaic science, Neanderthal-based science, trying to figure out how to create a wheel. All right, so here's a square. Maybe we'll use square wheels. Maybe square wheels will be a lot better to get around. No, we can't have square wheels. We need to have triangular wheels, right? So we're just looking into all this caveman, Neanderthal, archaic science, believing that there's some type of big kill shot ready to belch us off the planet here. And that's not what's happening. Not what's happening at all, okay? That's not how the sun works with the earth. So guys, you can go and you can tell these people that I said that, okay? I said, well, that's not what Brad Johnson's saying. He's saying that the sun works in a completely different way than what you guys believe it works as. And here's the video, the true nature of the sun. Show it to them, right? And saying this is how the sun actually works. It's not just me saying that. Nikola Tesla knew this as well too, pertaining to the sun. The ancients knew this, pertaining to the sun. It's not just some fireball or fiery furnace sitting in the middle of space. Okay, it doesn't work that way. That's the archaic science. That's the bad model. That's got to go. So don't worry, guys. We're not going to be belched off the planet with a hideous solar flare or anything of that nature. It's a bunch of bunk. Okay? It's garbage. Simple as that. We got to get out of that old archaic science. Okay? Thank you for your question. Let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Terry. This is more of a spiritual question. Terry says, "Hi Brad, I keep feeling a squirming movement in the bottom portion of my spine with lots of heat. Could I be experiencing some sort of Kundalini awakening?" No. That's not a Kundalini awakening, Terry. That's letting you know that there's trapped prana within your body, okay? And where there's a lot of heat, that's basically showing that there's stress related to that prana, okay? That's indicating that there's a blockage there. So this is where we want to do something like prana transmission technique or BCR to basically take all of that love energy and putting it into that area to unblock it. Okay, guys, when you're getting an intense amount of heat in your body, even if you're doing some inner work or so forth, and you're feeling that there's something that's stuck there, guys, that's the very reason. You've already discovered the answer. Something is stuck. Something is lodged into yourself. And a lot of it comes down to emotions. Okay, so if we're doing prana transmission technique, we're doing version 2. We take that sensation, we Om chant into it, we Om chant into it, we Om chant into it, and then we release it. And then you'll notice that that whole situation will dislodge. Okay, that heat again represents the idea of prana. Now prana has 5 different types throughout the entire body, right? So we have different types of prana that govern different areas of the body, right? So if you're noticing a lot of heat, well then that's prana itself. But again, it's telling you that there's something there that's lodged in. That's why that effect is taking place in your body. It has nothing to do with a Kundalini awakening, guys. Okay, Kundalini awakening is very, very different. I know I've had lots of them because I experienced them voyeuristically with my students as well too. When I've awoken their Kundalini, I'm feeling their Kundalini wake up again. It feels like I've had maybe like 50 different Kundalini awakenings already myself because I feel it at the same time. Okay, that's not how Kundalini works. This is not Kundalini, Terry. Okay, this is again your blockage. There's a blockage within your body. You need to isolate that area. You want to bring that into your awareness. You want to do prana transmission technique. You want to Om chant into that and feel that stuck feeling be released, be dislodged, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it in you. It's like whoosh. It's almost like a flame extinguishing, or you feel something moving, right? It's like taking the obstructions out of a dam, and now you can feel the water flow. Okay, that's the same thing here. So work with prana transmission technique, clear that out. Okay, just tune into the sensation of the blockage, right? There's heat here, it feels stuck. Yeah, it's an uncomfortable feeling. Okay. Om. Okay, doing that 3 times and feeling that blockage getting unstuck. Okay, that will help you. You can also do the same thing with BCR, going into your reinforcement space, bringing in the love energy, putting that love energy into your heart, instructing the love energy, clear away that obstruction within my body. You'll feel it go. Okay, so whichever one you want to do, prana transmission technique would be the quicker one, but that's what I'd recommend. Okay, but it's not Kundalini. Thank you very much. All right. Heather asks the question, have the counterforces cleaned up childhood pokes in the US, or are they still dangerous? I've actually looked into this not too long ago. It's still ongoing, right? It's still going to be going through the summer, and it may still be going through the rest of the year, okay? So I've looked at that previously. So no, those things are not cleaned up yet. Like I said, it's really looking at a mixed bag of different things. Like I said, you have placebos, you have ones that kind of feel like flu shots, and then you have the toxic ones. And they're all just kind of mixed together. And it's going to take some time for all of that to be kind of cleaned out, because there's so much of it, right? So no, it's still an ongoing process pertaining to that. Okay? Thank you, Heather. Okay, this one here is from Peaceful Nadia. Hi, Brad. What is your interpretation of the rapture or the harvest or bifurcation? Well, we're in that right now. We're in that flow right now pertaining to harvest, as I call it. Right? So again, I've talked about this through 2037, 2038. Okay, so that is really the time where we're going to see a culmination pertaining to harvest. For some, it may come sooner, right? For people in that sense who are ready to leave this planet and they've been doing a lot of inner work within themselves, they can go off into paradise, right? It all just depends. But we're in the midst of it right now. So I've talked about this previously as well too, pertaining to 2037, 2038, right? There's always a harvest. And when I talk about 2038, I'm basically talking about nearly 8 billion souls branching off into their own appropriate realities, okay? So it's kind of like the idea of we're seeing everything just split, right? People go off into their own realities, and it's a much more deeper experience from that time forward. So 2038 represents that time from what I've received about that splitting taking place. Everybody going their own way, kind of like everybody boarding their own trains, their own specific trains in that way. I can't tell you anything about that generically. It's not possible. Everybody has their own respective reality. Okay? So other than that, yes, that is happening, but that will be happening around 2037, 2038. Okay? Okay, Todd Stacy says, Brad Ishmael Perez never said solar flash would be harmful. Okay, well, the previous person was saying that he was. Okay, so I would say take it up with the person that was asking the question. If he's saying that it's not harmful, then that's good. Then he's on the right track. Okay, but it's not a solar flash, and that's where he's mistaken. Okay, guys, there's no solar flash. You have solar plumes, but they're not the same thing. So Todd, I would suggest you watch a video, and that you watch the true nature of the sun video. That way you'll be put up to speed, taken up to speed about what the sun truly represents. It's not a solar flash. So that's where I'd have to correct that dude about the idea of a solar flash. There is no solar flash, right? There are solar plumes, there's activity with the sun, but it all represents benefit. It's good that he's saying it's beneficial. That's great. He's kind of there, but if you're still referring it to solar flash, you still don't understand the sun, okay? You have to know exactly how the sun works. And if people are telling you that solar flashes happen, they don't know what the sun is. And I'm sticking to that. Okay? So until you actually know what the sun actually is, and if you're using the term solar flash, you're pretty clueless about how the sun works. That's my own perspective. All right? As I said, everything I share is my own perspective, my own point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation resides within ourselves. Okay? So that's what I can state about that. Thank you for the update. All right. Okay. So this one's kind of a personal question, but it is something that could be semi-personal for people as well too. Connie says, why do I not remember dreams? I am intuitive and can astral project for the last 40 years. That has nothing to do with recalling your dreams, Connie. Just because you're intuitive and just because you can astral project, that doesn't mean you can remember your dreams. That comes from a different portion of the brain. Okay? So what you may want to work with, and people in that sense who do have problems remembering their dreams, because I've met quite a few over the years as well too. Well, meditation is one of the best things to do with that. Okay? Is basically just go into beingness. This is what I recommend the most, right? I've talked about in the past how Ramana Maharshi talks a great deal about self-inquiry, right? To basically get the mind completely quiet. Because when you guys go into the state of beingness, that beingness is going to open up everything. The more that you are able to just be, and there is nothing associated pertaining to the body and the mind whatsoever, okay? So pertaining to the body and the mind, as long as we put an image or an object on something, then you're still contained within the mind, and you still have restrictions, and you still have limitations, and you're still functioning with impermanences within your life. And that's not really what's going to help you grow. What's going to help you to grow is to remain in beingness as often as possible, right? This is how I was able to bring myself through these freeing states and coming much more into the presence of beingness itself. And it's peaceful, it's loving, it's wonderful. You can see it throughout your entire reality. There's peace everywhere. And if there isn't peace, you know how to work with it. You know how to clear it out. You know how to release it. And then again, you remain in that state of beingness. So that's what I recommend, is that we stay in beingness as often as possible. And while you're in that state, in that presence of beingness, I should say, everything just kind of melts away. Any problem you have, any concern you have, anything of that nature just melts away. That includes any particular complications pertaining to the dream time. Okay? So again, like I said, that's just another portion of the brain. And as we start to clean it out just by going into beingness, you're going to notice that that melts away. It's kind of like just looking at this ice cream cone, and it just starts to melt away and melt away and melt away until there's nothing left. So what you're doing is you're absorbing the self into yourself, and everything comes online. Activations start coming online, opening up of centers, opening up of reservoir channels. Everything of that nature starts to come online when you come into beingness. So that's what I recommend you guys doing. I would just ask you right now just to take a deep breath in and out and just be. Ask yourself, am I aware? Am I aware of being aware? And just for that little bit of time, you feel yourself completely thoughtless, right? You are without thought, you are without mind stimulation, and when you stay there, everything gets activated. Everything gets propelled. I know this for fact. When I've been doing a lot of working with beingness, I'm activating myself in ways that are profound, and I cannot logically explain what's getting activated. You just know things are opening up, things are starting to transform within yourself, and you feel this elation of pure freedom and pure joy and pure bliss. That's the greatest thing you can ever do for yourself, right? So that's what I would suggest you do, Connie. And anybody else who's having difficulty remembering dreams or whatever other complication you're having within the body, just be. And when the more you stay in beingness, the more that all of this tarnishing of calamity and chaos and impermanence and struggle and suffering of the separate self now starts to completely vanish. Right? It's the most freeing thing there is, and you are naturally being. You don't need to acquire it. You don't need to look for it. You are beingness. You are awareness. You are consciousness. And it's a matter of just being able to be with that. Okay? That will help you tremendously. Okay. Here's one from Ravil Shana Dasa. Do we have to wait until 2038 to experience the new earth per se? No, guys. If you followed my videos, you'll notice that not too long ago I did a video about me astral projecting to the new earth. Okay? Did I need to wait till 2038 for that? No. Right? If I did, then I probably wouldn't have a video like that up on my channel. Okay? Guys, please watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, there's a lot of juicy information that you guys can take advantage of. Okay, so I did a video about that pertaining to going into the new earth, doing an astral projection through Yoga Nidra, and then being able to look at the new earth. And there was a lot of phenomena upon that planet. It is a gorgeous, beautiful earth. Right? She's so beautiful. Our physical earth here is beautiful, but the next earth above that is 100 times more beautiful. So yes, you can actually naturally astral project there, right? So you just put the intention there. Whether you do it through Yoga Nidra, whether you do it through lucid dreaming, whether you go in out of body and you do that, absolutely. If you're invited there, you can certainly see it, okay? And that's basically what I've been told, is that there's people that get those invitations. It's just a feeling that you have and say, okay, I can go to New Earth. I can check it out, okay? So whether I'm doing it through lucid dreaming or astral projection or out of body experience, I can go there and I can see it for myself. I've done that, and it's a gorgeous paradise. And there's all different types of life there. It's not just humans, there's non-humans living alongside the humans as well too. There's waterfalls from the sky, there's floating, levitating islands and so forth. It's a beautiful, gorgeous planet, right? So yes, if you have the means, go ahead and check it out. It's certainly available to you, right? When you have the intention to do it, you can absolutely do it. So I've talked about that in one of my recent videos. Okay, thank you. Okay, here's one from Sakura. Sakura says, will DNA be activated naturally as our souls grow spiritually? Yes. Yep, you're right on the mark there, Sakura. We don't consciously control the idea of activating our DNA. Okay, it's too complicated. It's something that we could never understand consciously, not in our current level of development. Okay. So basically when you're going within, this is like I said, with you just being in beingness, You're going through immense transformations, but we can never really put that into words about what we're feeling. Just saying, I feel like I was shut down originally, and all these doors are opening up, and now I'm feeling the floodgates coming in of all of this divine knowledge flowing through me, activations, opening up of centers. Everything right now is just completely shifting, right? It's a wonderful experience. We don't control that. It just naturally happens, okay? So it's kind of like what Jesus would talk about in the Bible, right? Do you guys know the difference between the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God? Do you guys know the difference between the two? So I'd like to actually put this out on the chat right now. What is the difference between the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God that Jesus talks about in the Bible? Do you guys know what he's talking about with either of those? Because they're two different things. They're not the same. So I'd like to put that question out to the chat. What does Jesus mean by the kingdom of heaven? And what does Jesus mean by the kingdom of God? Can anybody answer that? And I'll just give it a minute. The kingdom of God is within you. As Jesus would say actually in the Bible, the kingdom of God is within you. Kingdom of heaven is a different thing. Okay? The kingdom of heaven has a certain inner quality to it, yes. But the kingdom of God is within you, not the kingdom of heaven. Okay? That's why there's difference here. So basically, if we look into the kingdom of heaven, there's actually been commentaries of this as well too. Kingdom of heaven basically represents expansiveness. Okay, it represents upliftment. It's you moving much more into the higher mind. Okay, so by a good deed that you perform, right, the kingdom of heaven is yours. Yours is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, that's expansion, right? If I'm compassionate towards a person, if I see a person who's hungry and I go to them and I give them food, and there's so much thankfulness that they have, whoosh, there's the kingdom of heaven. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is that expansiveness. It's from a person who is much more, in that sense, creative and constructive. The creative and the constructive are the ones that expand themselves. It's upliftment. Okay, so it actually has to deal with the mind. The kingdom of heaven is the mind, right? So what you're doing is you're building yourself up, you're expanding yourself to the greater reaches of the kingdom of heaven. You're opening up your mind, you're opening up yourself a lot more, and you're moving much more into a creative and constructive path. And that's the path that follows the Christ, right? It follows the Christ. And then when you go into the kingdom of God, well, that's you. That's it. The kingdom of God is you. You are the Father. The Father and I are one. So when I see the kingdom of God within me, I do not need to look low here and low there for God. God is within. God resides within this. This is God's temple. This is God's church. Therefore, the kingdom of God is representing me, who I really am. I truly am God consciousness. I truly am spirit. I truly am permanence. Right? That's the difference between the two. Okay? So when you're moving into this expansion, that's again, it's saying yours is the kingdom of heaven. You're expanding yourself. You're moving yourself through these good deeds. The fruits of your capabilities that are constructive and creative are expanding you further into the higher realms. Okay? So this is where you're able to actually get invitations to go to these higher planes. You're actually able to go up into the astral. You can go up into the causal, and you can actually see these heavenly planets, right? The Hindus talk about this all the time, where there's the idea of great fortune and all these higher heavens in that way, higher planets, where you can indulge into all these great things. But if we're looking at it from the non-dualist perspective, well, that's still just going to bring about temptation in a certain way, even though these planets are very heavenly. Have I seen these planets? I've seen quite a few of them. I've felt quite a few of them. Not too long ago, I was actually just going and astral projecting into another galaxy, and I was meeting a woman there who was actually telling me a lot more about her people, about how they live as well too. So these are just some things at times that I go into. But you feel that expansion, right? When you do a good deed, the fruits of your activity that are creative and constructive is you expanding yourself through the kingdom of heaven. So you're now going to be able to move yourself when you decide to leave this body, whenever that comes, to drop the body. and now go anywhere you want because your merit pertaining to the idea of how much you have expanded yourself is available to you. And you can go up into these heavenly angelic worlds because you're creative and you're constructive. You're not, in that sense, belittled by everything. You're not trying to give people a hard time. You're not trying to manipulate people. You're not trying to pass judgment on people, because that's what's going to keep you in the lower worlds. That, again, is much more of the contraction, right? We would almost call that, in that sense, like a kingdom of hell. Just because you are constantly frail and you're being destructive, you're being, in that sense, very negligible, you're not helping people. It's all about number one, right? It's all about chaos and all of that stuff. And you stay in the lower. You stay in the lower world. This is very similar to what I've talked about with the lower world and the higher world, right? And everything you say to every person takes that toll. So again, for example, if you're being super mean and callous to a person and corrupt to a person, and all you want to do is just throw your own weight around, then you're shrinking yourself. You're basically just shrinking yourself, and you're going to stay in these lower realms until you learn to grow, until you learn to expand. This is why Jesus presented that to the people that listened to him, right? Yours is the kingdom of heaven. Try to be more constructive and creative, loving, compassionate, and blissful, because that is what's going to bring you the kingdom of heaven, the expansion of your awareness, the expansion of you, and moving much more into the constructive creative principle, rather than the idea of slamming people down because people don't agree with you, and fighting with people and wanting to, fisticuff with each other, right? Thinking that you have to be right and everything that you say is right. Even the idea in that sense of you holding on to other people's principles that you haven't even verified for yourself to be correct or not. Okay? That's you degrading yourself. That's you moving much more into a destructive path, right? When you rely on other people and not yourself, that's actually destructive. That's not constructive. When you aid people, when you assist people, when you help people, that's creative and constructive. But if you feel that you have absolutely no say and you're just hanging on to people's words like a religion, like an opinion religion, then you're condensing yourself. You're going more into a kingdom of hell. And all that hell means is all this constriction within yourself. And you can burst through that at any time, but nonetheless, that's what you're putting in. That's the merit of your thought. That's the merit of your activities. So in actuality, there is merit as far as the mind goes. When we look beyond the mind, there is no merit, right? But if we're playing the mind game, and if we want to really move up into these higher heavens, you have to be much more constructive, creative, compassionate, expansive, cooperative, if you want to even try and see any beautiful places like that, okay? Because again, like attracts like. That's the vibration. That's what Jesus was talking about. Yours is the kingdom of heaven, right? So basically, bless the ones who, trying to go back to some of his other sayings here. Bless the ones who have hurt you and who have shunned you and reproached you, right? So when you basically bless and forgive and all that, that's you moving much more into expansiveness. Yours is the kingdom of heaven, right? The meek will inherit the earth. Yours is the kingdom of heaven. That's the idea. You're expanding more and more through creative and constructiveness. Okay? So I wanted to put that out there as a little bit of an extra tidbit for you guys. So again, a lot of people just kind of turn a blind eye. Even I did when I was fearing about that. Okay, I didn't even bother to look into that a little bit more. And I was researching a little bit more about that, what's the difference between the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God that Jesus talks about? And there's a difference between the two. The old me just, that's probably just the same thing. No. When I started to research this a lot more, no, it's very, very different. Kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God, two very different things. Okay. So, Sakura, thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Just gave you a little bit more there. Okay. Well, David of Shield, so this is kind of going back to the previous question about dreams. David of Shield says memory gets wiped upon awakening from the dream state. No, that's actually not correct, David. Okay, your memory never gets wiped. Okay, where's it going to go? If I wipe memory, where's it going? Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go into the state of non-existence? No, universe as a construct doesn't work that way. You have basically lined yourself into a certain frequency. It's all frequency. So when you come out of the dream plane and you now come into the woken state, you're moving into a completely different frequency. Because you're no longer the frequency of that dream plane anymore, you're now moving into a woken state. This is why you'll only have a brief recollection pertaining to the memory of your dreams, right? It may just, again, it was something of an intense situation, and you just recall bits and pieces of it. This is why people have a very difficult time, in majority, remembering those dreams, right? There's some people that may come along and, yeah, I can remember every single dream I have. Then they're very supercharged in that area of the brain that enables them to go back into that vibration and start picking up things, okay? But it has nothing to do with your memory getting wiped. You do not have wiped memory, guys. That's not the cause. The cause in that sense is that you're shifting vibration, you're shifting frequency. If this represents your dream wave of frequency, and you're waking up and you're like this, those are two entirely different frequencies. And because you're now acclimatizing to being awakened, you're not going to have too much of a recollection of that dream. It'll probably be in faint memory. And this is, again, why we have a dream journal. And what dream experts will often tell you is that as soon as you wake up in the morning, don't move. Try not to move. If you do move, move very, very gently. And try not to disrupt your calm pattern as you slowly wake up in the morning. This is kind of what you have to train yourself to do. Then as you train yourself with that, then you grab a notebook, right? Or maybe it's your phone, and you just very gently, again, not moving too much, just starting to write things down pertaining to your dream. That's exactly what I did, right? There was a time where I was really looking into dream interpretation. As soon as I woke up in the morning, okay, don't move, right? If I did move, very, very slowly, I just grabbed my notepad, I'd have a pen by me, and I would just start writing things out, and I got some pretty good detail pertaining to the dream because I'm not being so energetic. I'm not being so, in that sense, boisterous that would cause interruption, right? So basically, in that sense, you want to learn how to be soft and gentle with yourself when you're going into dream time. It has nothing to do with your memory getting wiped. You can't really wipe memory, guys. That's not possible. Okay? The reason why people in that sense have amnesia, for example, is because in that sense there may be, like I said, a concussion, there may be a blow of the head, there's something that may actually physically happen with the brain, and the brain is a transformation device, right? So a person that wakes up comatose in the hospital and has no memory of their life whatsoever, while there's significant brain damage that's affecting the circuitry there, right? Right, but if we're looking at a Hollywood formula and I got that little light and poof, and all of a sudden your memory is gone. No, has nothing to do with that. Okay, these are all just different realms that simultaneously coexist with us because of vibration. Right, so when your vibration is in alignment with a particular realm, we really don't have that technology to even monitor that. But let's say, for example, a person was able to do that. They could go back into some instance of that dream plane and look into that entire world, right? This is all about frequency. It's all about vibration. It's all about energy. That's all this is. And basically, if you were trying to get somebody to forget, you'd have to try and put their brain on a different pattern to where they do not recall the aspects pertaining to memory of experiences that have happened, because those all represent vibrational constants as well too. You basically have to alter their frequency, right? But nothing in all of creation is ever lost. Nothing is ever wiped. Nothing is ever forgotten. Even when I'm teaching my students to release things, all we're doing is we're learning how to live above that stuff. We live up here. We alter our frequency, because that's exactly what happens when I say I'm ready to let this go now. As soon as I let that go, I'm up here, and here's the debris down here. And I am no longer simpatico with that frequency. So I did not wipe any memories, right, through myself or through anybody else. Memories do not get wiped. All memories are thoughts, right? They're thoughts that stand out because of feelings. That's the whole idea, guys. Here's the entire hierarchy of how it works when we're looking at the mind, okay? The first thing that comes is ideas, okay? You have an idea. That idea now propagates a feeling. That feeling now propagates a thought. And through all your thoughts and through your feelings based upon that idea, you therefore commit to physical action, to performing what you need to do to bring about that manifestation together. And that therefore brings about the result. So what I just taught you guys is the new and improved version of the 5 acts of manifestation. It begins with an idea. An idea propagates a feeling. and a feeling propagates thoughts. And then through all the review of that, you go into action. And then through action, you get a result based upon your manifestation. All right? So this is the whole idea. There's nothing in regards to all of creation that would ever say, oh yeah, okay, we've put your thought into oblivion and you'll never see it again. That's not possible. The universe is an open source intelligent design. It's all open source. There's nothing here that's closed off. There's no closed source in the universe altogether, as it is designed as an intelligent design construct. It contains everything, right? Your entire Akash is always available, okay? For a person who knows what they're doing, they can go into other people's Akash and they can start looking into their entire life stream from beginning to end of that lifetime because they know what they're doing. They've trained themselves for years to do that, okay? That's something that you can develop. That's something you can train. You got to spend years and years and years of dedication towards looking into the Akash, right? You spend more time basically going into the dream plane. You spend more time in meditation. You may spend time out of body and being able to access the Akash of anything else. Guys, nothing in all of creation is private. Your thoughts aren't private. Your actions aren't private. It's just that certain people are operating at a certain frequency pertaining to their conscious selves where they're ignorant about the idea that the Akashic records can actually reveal everything about you from the day that you were born to the day that you die. And a person who knows what they're doing can go in there and can work with your Akasha with your permission or not. Okay? Good news is I don't really know anybody like that. Okay? But there certainly are some very advanced people who can do that. Okay? Like I said, you have to make more of the inner world more your life, rather than thinking that you're outside here and saying, oh yeah, I like to access people's Akashic records, but I'm too busy washing the dishes and I'm too busy doing computer work and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not going to help, right? Just like how you have to learn to ride a bicycle, you have to commit yourself to working with that instrument, right? The same thing goes in regards to you working with the Akasha. You have to work with the Akasha all the time. It's like I said, I can do Akashic records with people, but nowhere to that depth about being able to look at what they're going through the first day that they were born up until the day they die, right? I'm not even that advanced, and I've looked into Akasha for many years, right? So again, this is something that you guys have to realize. There's no such thing as a blanking out of memory. You cannot put anything into oblivion. The universe remembers. That's how the construct works, right? That is prakriti, okay? To what the Hindus would refer to in that sense as not just matter, but everything that represents the nature of substance. And it is such an intelligently designed substance. And we could also say that it's always been at the same time, right? So we have Prakriti and we have Purusha. Purusha representing that idea of consciousness, that it is consciousness that animates everything, that brings to life everything that exists, that is alive, right? And so the whole idea is that you can basically outgrow Prakriti, but you can never outgrow Purusha because that's your nature, that's who you are, that's consciousness, right? But what happens is we get things stuck to Purusha relating to Prakriti, and this is what we call karma. And so we have to work day after day clearing a lot of that stuff out. This is why I teach my students how to go free. You're getting all the debris, all that claptrap of matter and substance off Purusha so that you are therefore pure consciousness. And that's what beingness does, right? So the more that you stay in beingness, all of that stuck on mess relating to Prakriti starts to melt off. And all that you're left with is pure consciousness, right? How deep you go is entirely up to you. Okay? So much more, guys, that I have to teach you. We're just getting started here. All right, let's go ahead and move on a bit more. Got into some big conversations there. So we got about 8 minutes left, and we'll see what we can take. And I think we're going to take one more question. I'm going to do a final message from Spirit. Okay, Spirit's going to come through and give a final message. So we'll take one more question. Yeah, Ravalashana here has a good point. Heavenly planets are temporary abodes in the material universe. Liberation brings us out of the temporary universe. But again, we have to remember that all of those abodes are spirit at the same time. Okay? Just as you are spirit, you always carry that with you. You are, again, consciousness. And as consciousness itself, you have the power within yourself to pervade your own universe. And you have the power within yourself to pervade star systems, to pervade galaxies, to pervade planets within your own universe. That's just the all-pervadingness of yourself. Even though that's temporary, every single soul has that. And that's what you guys are looking at when you're looking at planets and galaxies in that sense. It's all just, again, appearances of consciousness, right? But you as a soul have that ability. You can be completely still, and then the time will come where you will just bring into beingness the idea of your own universe. And now you have everything representing an intelligent construct of you being able to go into deeper states of expression through Prakriti. And now you have these heavenly abodes. Yes, of course, they are temporary because they're impermanent. Everything that exists in the mind is impermanent. That will never change. That's the only thing about the mind that will never change, is that it changes, right? So the whole, that's kind of the dichotomy for it. But nonetheless, like I said, you guys have the power within yourselves to pervade your own universes, to actually create your own universe and have your own planets and have your own forms of life, have galaxies and all that stuff. God teaches you this, right? When you get to a certain level, to actually go and create your own universe existing within the multiverse, where now you have your own universe and now you are completely aware of all life, because all life is one with you, but you are not one with all life. It's kind of like how Krishna would put it. All beings are one with me, but I am not one with all beings. I am beyond all beings. I am beyond all forms of life. Therefore, I am not one with it, but they all come back to me. I can devour life, and I can bring life forward. Well, you have the ability of a supreme personality of Godhead to do the same thing. But you have to reach a certain degree of awareness. You have to reach a certain level of maturity to actually make that happen, right? But again, we all have the ability to pervade our own universes. We're basically living in our own universe right now. We just don't know it, right? Everything's happening now. There's no later in all of creation. It's already here. But we are ignorant of those plateaus. So the more ignorance that you're clearing out, the more that you are aware that, my goodness, I can pervade an entire universe and all life within it. And I can pervade that. It is possible. It's not even the idea of it being possible. It is here. It is present. It is so. Therefore, the idea of all life from your universe comes back to you and then goes out again. Comes out, comes back in. Goes back out, goes back in. So everything pertaining to that, like I said, it's just a level of awareness we don't have. When we clear away that ignorance and say, okay, all life is coming back to me, and all life is now coming back out again. Therefore, I am God of that entire universe. It is so. Okay? Like I said, guys, lots of stuff to talk about. Okay, so I think we're going to end now with a final message from Spirit. So again, I'm not channeling or anything of that nature. I just kind of tune out of Brad and just let Spirit come through. Elevate yourselves to the greater harmony of your existence. That is what completely obliterates the nature of ignorance itself. When you elevate yourself to the greater heights of your being, you realize that there has never been any form of separation that you could ever feel actually existed. You will see yourselves one with everybody, from the ones that you love deeply and even the ones that you have had problems with. You will see how they're all interconnected with you. You will see how the light itself shines through yourself as you connect with every other soul, connecting yourself with all that exists. It is all about the idea of you moving up the barometer. The barometer represents the true nature of your awareness. And as long as you continue to escalate and elevate yourself up that barometer, you are going to see that the material world will mean less and less to you. You are not abandoning life. On the contrary, you're actually seeing what life truly is, because you have not even begun to see what life truly represents yet. You think it is the idea of everything that you see physically here on the planet. You feel it is the prana, or the chi, that flows through every life form to which you feel this is what life represents. And you are still not even close to understanding the true nature of life by looking at it in that context. You have to see life as yourself. You have to see life as the very essence of who you are. Not somebody else, but yourself. To truly understand that as you escalate yourself further upwards the barometer of awareness, you will see how everything just resides within you without a single thought, without a single movement. You do not have to be here or there to get an understanding about what life truly represents. You do not need a thought to perceive the idea of how you feel life actually functions. You do not engage in a feeling to feel that this is exactly how life must be. The idea is that as you continue to move further and further upwards, you realize that you are the embodiment of all life, that life has always ever been inside you. But again, these words that are spoken will never give you that clarity that you seek. Therefore, the idea of what you are doing to really perceive this needs to come up through your own barometer. You have to see it for what it is. You have to realize what life truly is without the feeling of using the handicap of language. It comes into the greater realization of awareness, to where ignorance has now completely subsided. And now you understand in full greatness that you have been life all along, that you are what permeates, that you are what has given life to everything. You, not another. It's always been you. And that needs to come through the realization as you escalate further up the barometer. Therefore, remain in beingness. Remain in the awareness that you truly are. It is not human awareness. It is not animal awareness. It is not anything that denotes the idea of some type of incarnate capacity to where you feel there's that and then there's awareness. There is only awareness. You are that awareness. There is only consciousness. You are that consciousness. There is only the self. You are the self. Therefore, through beingness, through realizing that you are aware, that is what's going to bring you there. That is what's going to clear away all of the sheaths. That is what will clear away all of the layers to telling you that you are some finite body and that you are working with some impermanent mind and that this makes up all of life. No. Life itself goes far grander than beyond the mind. The mind is not going to tell you all about life. It is simply a construct that holds that together in capacity. It is the spirit that brings life to life. And that is what you must know. And for you to realize that, it is being able to transcend beyond any particular capacity or conveyance of your reliance and need for the mind. As the mind fades, as the mind drifts away, as you continue to peel away the layers from it, the truth is revealed, and that truth can never be found within the construct of the mind. It will be found beyond that. It will be realized through you. Everything that is a secret resides within you right now. Everything that is unknown resides within you right now. Everything that is covered by the veil of ignorance resides within you right now. Therefore, you do not see yourself as the body. You do not see yourself as the mind. You are Purusha. You are God consciousness. You are the self. It's not something for you to seek. It's what you are. Okay, so that is the spirit message I wanted to share with each of you today. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to this special 2-hour broadcast of New Earth TV Live. Blessings to you all. I will be back again next Friday for another 2-hour episode. Hope you enjoyed today, and blessings to you all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May it be well with you. Namaskar. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.